Alright, this is winter camping preparation. We are getting things ready to go up to northern Minnesota, and just got a few things on my list. Basically, I'm going to start off by testing out my winter sleeping bag situation. I just have two sleeping bags. I don't have a special super cold winter sleeping bag. The other thing you got to do is raise yourself up off the ground somehow. Maybe that's with a foam pad, but I don't really trust the foam pad for this trip because I don't know how cold it's going to be. Could be well below zero. This is northern Minnesota, and so I've got this cot that I'm taking with. It's an old Coleman cot. I've got a buddy who's coming along, and he's got something better. I think he got on Amazon, and so we'll see how that is versus this one, especially for bringing it into the campsite over the snow and with the snowshoes and everything. Alright, starting off with here, I'm inside of both sleeping bags. I put the first 15 degree on first on the inside, and then the 0 degree on the outside. Now I'm starting to think I should have done it the opposite, because if it gets too hot, I guess I'm worried about getting too hot. If it gets too hot, then I can always take the less warm bag off first. I still have the warmer bag over me. I'm just sort of thinking out loud here. I'm not really sure. They're all good questions I should have answered before I took this video, but more or less it's going to work. More or less, I think I've established how it feels to have these two sleeping bags, one inside the other. Zip the outside one first, then the inside one. Alright, let's move on to the next step. Alright, so I'm going to try to run through the vast majority of the supply list here, preparing for winter camping, and just kind of show you what I have on hand, sort of where my mind is going in terms of trying to make this a nice, comfortable experience. So, without further ado, first off we've got a tent. This is actually an ice tent that pops up. We'll see that later. And what's important about this is I've modified it by cutting a hole in the top. This is the hole here. Let's get this out of the way. This is basically a portal where a stovepipe is going to go through. And I've modified this by basically cutting this hole, putting high temperature silicone to glue this Velcro onto the exterior edge of that hole, and then do the same thing with this welding material, so kind of like a welding cloth that you kneel down when you're doing welding. You can get them at a hardware store for about 20 bucks. And that's where the pipe goes through. The pipe is sitting over here along with a homemade stove. And I've actually tested this out. I'm not just going out into the wild without having tested anything here. But I made this out of some HVAC equipment. That's the stove right there. It closes. We'll see. We'll get a better view of how that all works once we're on the trip. We've got lighter fluid, just because I'm cheating this time around. I'm going to use matches and lighter fluid to get the fire started. I'm not using any kind of primitive method or any method that you really should use. I just want to make sure that fire gets going. It is going to be, I'm not sure if you can see that, 35 degrees in Finland, Minnesota, and that's what it is right now. Right now it's 42. Tomorrow it's going to have a high of 35 when we're out there. It's going up to about 35 by 4 p.m. here, which is really melty. And then Sunday morning at about 7 a.m. it'll be down to 18. So that is just not the kind of temperature range you really want. You don't want that really wet weather followed by super freezing cold weather. That's not pleasant. We're going to have a lot of stuff getting wet, and then it's going to unfortunately freeze, which it's a lot harder to get things dry than it is to stay dry. So that's part of why I've got this tarp here. It's a general medical and extra supplies kit. There's a flashlight in there. Probably need to change the battery, disinfectant stuff, medical tape, extra matches, a couple fire starters. This is just sort of an emergency kit I like to bring along just to have as an extra in case other systems fail. Here I've got a couple waterproof stuff sacks. Going to be extremely useful on this trip. I'm going to put my clothes in here and whatever else I really need to keep dry. Fold out pan for cooking, a pot and a bunch of other pots and other cooking equipment. And here we've got a stove with a couple extra butane lighter heater things, so that if the homemade camping wood burning stove again doesn't work out super well, if it's too hot or if that poses some kind of risk of creating a lot of condensation in the tent, we've got our backup system there. Polk is a device that is used to carry your equipment along on top of the snow behind you, using snowshoes or skis rather. And so this is a super amateur production. We'll talk more about that later. But basically just drilled a bunch of holes in a couple sleds, and then you have a couple small PVC pipes that you use to drag the thing along and keep it from tipping. Actually, I'm not really sure. I've never used one before. I'm trying to figure out how things work, and I'm not trying to pretend that I'm a super huge expert in any of this. No idea really what I'm doing. I have some idea what I'm doing, but it's not, it's kind of an exploratory trip here. So hence the showing what my rationale is behind packing. So there you go. Let's get it all packed up in some bags and move on to the next task. Alright, I'm totally set up, ready to go. Got everything packed here. I don't know if you can see the truck. Got a full moon. Hey, you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake. You wanna come in for a second?
Yeah, I'll be right in.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Oh. Okay, we're here with Mustache Vance. We're looking at his packing real quick before we head off. Vance, what do you got?
2 emergency blankets. A larger knife that I'll carry on me later.
That your ex-girlfriend's dad gave you a long time ago?
Actually,
20 years ago?
Sad story, he actually died.
Oh,
So,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Every one large strip. Ton of rope. So I have what I call an emergency sweater.
Nice bag.
And then emergency socks, emergency gloves.
Yep.
Here. And then two sleeping bags. I have a dry ducks kit here. I have rope. There's
Nice.
a carabiner on this, so putting the food pack up in a tree, it's really easy. I stick it to the back of my bag.
Yep.
Food's in here, a extra hat, and then my cot, and then the axe.
Titanium.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be new to both of us, but super sharp.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure to be very careful with the axes.
I'm not going to take that off. What I want to
Yeah, we'll look at it later.
What I want to show you is this comes out.
Oh, nice. So
And
it
then
doubles
it's-
as a saw.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a-
All right, morning in Minneapolis. Sun is just coming out. Extremely icy. Look at this. About 110 miles from Duluth, driving through early morning fog. It's beautiful. We just drove through a cloud. It's incredible. Alright, so this is it. We've made it to the trailhead. and we're just going to get our stuff unpacked now. We're just kind of going to go up this snowmobile trail. We've run into a little bit of a snafu in that there's a lot more snow than we expected on the road we were going to originally drive on, so we're just kind of going up that way. And fortunately, because there's more snow, we're probably not going to have too many problems with the sleds. We were a little bit worried because back along Lake Superior there was a little bit of a lack of snow, and that was going to be a problem for pulling sleds with a bunch of gear. But I think we're going to be good. So, Vance, you have any thoughts?
No, ready to go.
Looking forward to it. All right, off we go. We're heading on the trail. Got our pokes packed up. That's what it looks like behind. All right. Beautiful area. So basically what I'm carrying behind me is just a sled covered with all my bags and gear and equipment and a little rope stringing through. Call that a pulk. So huge advantage of this system is you can carry a ton more weight than you would be able to in summer months without very much effort. So never used this before, but it seems to be going pretty well. So I guess we'll see how I feel after a few miles of this. All right, we got to flip over. Not quite sure why, maybe the water on top, I don't know. We'll figure out more about that as we go along here. We got another topo, and it's so warm out. You know, it's not that warm, it's 35 or something, but it's so warm that we just feel like we need to be in our short sleeves.
The tent and the length of the tent.
You think the tent helps?
Yeah.
Stabilize it?
Yeah.
You go ahead and then I can tip yours back over if you tip over again. All right, we're walking through the forest. I'm not sure how many miles we've gone, but we're just farther along on the snowmobile trail. Come across a couple snowmobiles now. It's been really warm, so I actually took my shirt off, although it's colder now here in the shade. But yeah, it's been an interesting experience how warm it's been, just sweating. Fine now, but yeah, see what else we have ahead. Okay, we've come across something very interesting. There's sort of like a shelter here. We're not sure. It's probably a snowmobile shelter just for hangout purposes. There's a little fire next to it. We had no idea something like this was going to be here. And there's a little sign from the Nature Conservancy about old growth forests. And then there's what appears to be maybe a bathroom. Oh, here it says East Baptism River Shelter. Emergency location. So it is kind of an emergency location. I don't know what this is. Probably, maybe it's just a tool cabinet or something. See, no, I think it's, yeah, it's a bathroom. Okay, cool. You actually have a bathroom here and everything. Wow, we did not know that. And then down over there, there's the actual river. So I guess we could stop and just sort of like hike around a little bit if we thought.
How far are we from the tent?
Not very far, very close. But I guess we just have to find where the Superior Hiking Trail is and then go towards that. So, all right, cool. more cool stuff to come. All right, I'm gonna narrate a little bit here. We found the trail. Oh my gosh! Wow, look at how deep that is. That is actually Vance had found that out earlier. I didn't realize how packed it is. So we're standing on a base of super packed snow, aren't we? Like this has got to be feet of packed snow. And then we found the trail. It was right by the mystery cabin, the mystery emergency shelter. But there's been nobody on it for sure.
You can see some imprints if you look.
You can?
Yeah. If you
Okay,
look.
yeah, you're right. I can barely see it. I don't know if it shows up on camera.
Do you want to walk ahead of me with your snow boots to give me a little bit of a better... Because I'm not going to put those on for such a small trek.
You're not going to put your
Yeah. If you walk
snowshoes on?
If you walk in front of me, you'll compress it halfway with that.
Yeah, but then you're going to go through whatever I compress.
Yeah, but then it will be half whatever.
Okay, well, we can try it. Yeah, whatever you want to.
I've never worn those, and I wrapped them up really good. I thought we were going farther.
I'll wear those, and you wear these. How about that? Because then I'll go in front with a bigger.
Take off a bunch of the jacket and this and that. I don't think it's that.
You don't think it's worth it?
No, I think it's close.
Okay. All right.
All right. We'll try that.
We'll try it out. If not, we can put them on.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe it's not a big deal now.
We sort of agreed this might be easier to prevent tipping, you know?
Yeah.
We're just creating like a rail that we ride along. Okay. All right, we found the camp. It was not too hard to find. It was pretty much right away, actually. So that makes it pretty easy to get to. There's a little bridge here. That's going to be a challenge. I better turn the camera off. Or maybe I keep it on. What do you think? Just go straight over this creek? Or take the bridge? Oh, Vance's stuff's falling over, so I'll just go over this bridge here. If I can do that. Oh, my stuff's got stuck. Falling in a little bit. Because it might be really deep there. So I'm gonna go across where I'm supposed to go across. Yeah. All right, we're at our little campsite spot here. We've got a nice flat area and little fire ring. Oh, there's a signal. Somebody left a signal that they were here. Maybe that's to show where the campsite is if the snow was deeper. And then that's a creek down there. We're going to be kind of wary about that because we just don't know if there's running water underneath. Actually, I heard running water up above. Maybe we'll go check that out a little bit later. Yeah, we got it. We found it. Now we just need to get our stuff here from over there. All right, just doing a quick video of the space. Got sort of an outdoor campfire ring here, which is pretty standard in these types of sites in the Superior Hiking Trail. Then over there, we have our actual tent. So I guess I'll walk over and show that, basically. Oh, and another quick thing here. I had put this tarp on the snow. This was actually a serendipitous thing to be brought along. Just a nice tarp just to throw everything on top of. Came in really handy to keep everything dry and away from the snow and not lost. So let's see what we got here. We've got our tent. We don't have the stove set up inside of it yet. But this is an ice tent meant for ice fishing with that little portal cut in the top that I talked about. We're going to put the stove in here and get it fired up as soon as I collect some firewood. But I'm going to go grab some firewood with this axe and this sled. So let's go see what we can do. Alright, we're getting our fire going here in a little homemade stove. It's going to be nice and warm in there. Just kind of give you a quick tour of everything we have going on. So that's the pipe on top. And we've got a little stove jack we built. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera. A little stove jack to keep it away from this nylon material, because this is probably fairly combustible. And what else we have to show you? Well, there's where we've been cutting up some wood, and the tarp I talked about earlier. The sun is starting to go down quite a bit. We've been hearing a lot of snowmobile traffic, but that seems to be dying down now. Buy you another rock? Yeah, I'll see if I can get a good price. Six steps plus 6 steps back. All right, we'll see what we can do here. Now we're gonna steal another rock from the fire ring. Here you go. I think, yeah, I mean, rocks could maybe provide insulation from, because we don't want the snow to melt, right? We don't want it to melt too much.
Yeah, you know, it's not. Don't forget we got these soups too. I think I unintentionally got you on camera pissing. I'm sorry about that. I will. Well, that won't show up on anywhere. No, I've got my buddy Vance down there. Yeah, if you want to take a look, if you're, I don't know, do you winter camp at all, or? Oh, but you have in the past. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we used an ice tent, one of the like fold-out kinds, and modified it. Yeah. Nope, we just hiked. Yeah. Yeah, we had originally planned on hiking the spear hiking trail, and that's just like looks impossible, especially with our amateur equipment here. So we just hiked on the snowmobile trail, and it's just like a few. Anything to get outside. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we're in the tent. I don't know if you can see this very well, but we're in here and we've got our stove running. It's nighttime. There it is. We've been making tea. It's pretty nice and comfortable in here. One of the drawbacks is the stove is a little bit difficult to run and operate. It keeps getting cold or coldish, chilly, and then hot again. We found out that we have to use a lot of kindling to kind of keep feeding it, keep it going. So that's a little bit annoying, but overall I'd say it's pretty comfortable in here right now. What do you think, Vance?
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
I don't know if you can see Vance.
I don't know if you can see in here or not.
We can.
Ready? So we're getting there to get a bed of ashes, but yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem to behave exactly like a normal campfire. It tends to we tend to have to use like quite a bit more maintenance to keep it going. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I feel very comfortable right now. It's probably going to get cold in I don't know, another 10 minutes or so. We do have a little bit of smoke in here, but not too bad. We had to vent the tent quite a bit earlier. But what else? I guess I can kind of try to show around the tent in a little bit here. Just grab the camera for that. Alright, so we'll try to do a quick tour of the tent. So here we have all of our wood piled up and axe and knife and stuff, and we have 2 cots. So this is what my cot looks like. Basically my clothes and sleeping bag and stuff in these waterproof bags, keep them nice and dry, and then a bunch of stuff just piled up on top of my cot. And this is stuff we were using for cooking, more cooking and bacon grease and water and soup and stuff. And then that's Vance's cot over there. He's got all his clothes and stuff all bundled up. What else can I show you? We found that you can kind of hang some things from the top of this tent. It's pretty nice. There's lots of little spaces to hang things, which is a good feature. Over there we got some tea hanging on the wall, and then probably lastly, well, here's our fire after Vance I think he just fed something in there.
Yeah.
But lastly, I could probably show you this up here. This is the inside of the stove jack, which is kind of interesting. So if I touch the middle of this thing here, that's really hot, but the actual outside material here stays relatively cool, a little bit cooler. You don't want this pipe or this material pipe getting anywhere near your nylon, so that's why we've rigged that all up. But that's pretty much everything. I guess we're gonna probably cook pretty soon here. We'll probably use our little stove. A lot of stuff I hopefully captured on the GoPro, but it was just a lot of wood chopping. We got huge amounts of firewood. We got more stuff packed under there. Earlier on, we were just chopping a lot. So just to make sure we had enough to get through the night. We're not even sure exactly how much we need, but there's an example of loading some stuff in there. And there you go. Alright, real quick here. Cooking up some chicken. Right on top of the stove there. Seems to work pretty well. Cooking it in the bacon fat from some bacon we made earlier. We had breakfast as our sort of like our lunch, I guess, our late lunch. Alright, here's our cooking operation now. It's very bright light. Got this lentil soup or veggie lentil soup with rotisserie chicken thrown in there. There's our rotisserie chicken sitting over there, which we had in the outdoor fridge, as we call it. And we're just going to heat this up on our little butane stove, isobutane. And of course, we've got our bacon chicken up there. So we are very excited, as well as tea and coffee. Or what do you got? Tea or you got coffee?
Coffee, I got coffee.
Coffee and tea. Okay, it's morning now, and it's quite a bit different than last night. It's quite a bit colder today. I thought I saw that it was going to be 18 degrees, so I think it's probably around 18. We've got my buddy over here, still sleeping. Kind of. I heard that the person who gets up first is usually the most handsome and usually the most capable. So I guess that probably solves that one for this morning. But what else can we say about last night? Learned a lot about the stove. Seems like kind of keeping it open like this, like about an inch, really had the best results. And also being careful about sparks. We have a lot of these. I don't know if you can see these holes. Yeah, you can definitely see holes that were formed by sparks that landed back on the top of the tent. That's something we're going to have to design and improve. That was a big issue. But otherwise, it's just been really nice and peaceful and a really comfortable sleep for me. Vance got a little bit cold in the morning, and so we had to get up and start the fire again, just for kind of comfort's sake. I think he's got a little bit not as quite as good sleeping bag, and he had a little bit of I think his cot might have been absorbent, a little bit more absorbent. But here's what it looks like outside. It's just amazing out. It's just super peaceful, and snow is falling really slowly. It's just really nice. A lot of snow falling on our stuff here. And then here's what the tent looks like. Still got, still sturdy and everything. But a lot of snow kind of accumulating on top. We're probably going to get going pretty soon, and yeah, that's a creek down there. I took a walk around out there. Maybe I'll get some quick shots of that. There's a little bridge and the shelter. I just went back to go look at it. I'll probably just go take a shot of what that looks like. I almost forgot to mention, this is where I buried our food. We actually just buried trash, food, other food. Marked it with a stick because I didn't know how much it was going to snow. But that's quite a bit different experience than what we usually have in the summer. Usually we, put the food up in the tree, make sure it's high, and so that bears can't get it. But this time I read that you can just kind of bury it, so that's what I did. Okay, here's that shelter talked about yesterday, and then over there's the bridge over Belsner Creek. Snow is just coming down like crazy. Saw a couple snowmobiles this morning already. Oh, and here's some more. So that's one bad part about this campsite, just snowmobile traffic, but really it's not that big a deal. These snowmobiles or a tractor. There was a tractor, a grooming tractor that I think drove by late at night last night, and that was pretty interesting. There's a snowmobiler. But yeah, overall, great experience. Not really that bothersome to have the snowmobiles. Kind of comforting, actually, to know there's people around in case there's a bear or we actually screwed up and got hypothermia or something. But yeah, overall it was a great experience. I would definitely do it again and definitely recommend it. I would say be a lot more careful with the tent and come up with a better tent design.